So this is a quick reprise of how to make changes to the data that's been extracted for star to try and get the figures to match. So we identified that the deductions on sales here and the net sales figure here due at 120 days is different from what is on the Evro report. So there's a difference there, and we're using this figure here because this is a straight typo, but this figure here is different from what is on the that we've calculated. The next step is to start reviewing these balances down here to see if there's any obvious differences, and we were able to identify straight away that there were there's 2,236 here and 13 in export, but in here there is 2,235 and 14. So export's easy because there's fewer figures. We then just try and review these figures to see where there are differences. You can click on the title here so that it gets close to the order which it comes out for Evro, but there are slight differences in the title names, so which makes it a little bit difficult. But what quickly becomes clear is, ironically, this which is at the top here, which has got a quantity of 6 in export, is which is actually down here, 100 years of Lamborghini, so I'm going to stretch that just to make that a little bit more obvious. 100 years Lamborghini, there's 7 here and 113, which is 114 and 6. So there's obviously a misallocation for the export. So to change that, so that something on here needs to change, so we highlight the row and right click and choose amend details, and all the details of the orders that have appeared in the various places in this month's figures appear here. I'm going to sort it by category because there's obviously been a miscalculation in exports, and we see here what I think has happened is that Star have missed. They say that MHI is normally an export item and that they have to spot that manually. They've obviously missed that one. I haven't. The program hasn't. So I am going to reallocate that to where I believe that Star have mistakenly put it, which is in the UK. I can then save and exit that, and you can see that those figures then become correct and the values are correct, so the theory is correct there. I then have to find the other problem, and the other problem very quickly becomes obvious is that this returns, we've got 7 returns there, and in here we have none. So again, a misallocation on Star's part, I believe. If I go here, I can see I've got 7 here, so I go through the same process again, and I see I have a return here for McLaren, which is Gardner's books. So I'm going to assume that they've just muddled it all in with all the other Gardner stuff. So I'm going to reallocate that as a Gardner figure, and I'm going to save and exit, and we get back to 0 in our returns. And if we go down here, we can see that the figure 10554 now is much closer and is actually just a rounding difference between the 10554.40 there, and we also see that this figure here is very much closer to the figure we have down here 3, 4, so 4 penny difference. Those I think are acceptable differences in the calculation, and at this point I can either post it to history or post it to 0 is the plan. You can leave the data like that. It remembers the changes that we've made, so that we can come back to this report. We can come back to it at any time. So that's all saved. I can find my November thing in the unposted figures, and I can load that data, and you can see that it comes back with exactly the same figures as we had before, and is ready if you want to. If you don't get through all the changes, get distracted, go away, you can come back at a later date and you can call it up, finish off and post. And so thank you.